in. Go like that. Okay. Put my earphones on. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Here we go. Welcome back to Between the Benches with Brow Sauce, beauties and rock stars. Okay, you said Ralph. It was really mint. Jeff Brown on. He went to NHL training camp, played in the A, played over in Europe. Okay, so we had an AHL guy, and then we had other guys. And you guys said, Ralph, we need to get somebody that is just there because he loves the sport. I'm talking, he's not in the NHL, he's not in the AHL, he's not in the ECHL, he's in the SPHL. Welcome to the podcast, Kyle.
Hey, thanks for all sauce. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to chat with you. I just got sent up to Macon, Georgia. Just finishing practice here. The weather's great. You can see outside. It's is it plus 12, and sun's out. Can't complain.
I love it. I love it. So, let's just, Kyle, I know who you are because Muskoka boys, we know everybody with Muskoka, and Muskoka is my bread and butter. I pretty much ran that town for 10 years, not to toot my own horn. I actually did. And we'll get into that. And I don't got a girlfriend no more. So like the real stories are going to come out. There's zero filter. So we'll get into it. So I know who you are. One of my favorite movies I've ever watched in my life is Forrest Gump. And like the guy's my hero. I look up to him. And one of his famous lines is, well, now we're not strangers. So why don't you introduce yourself and then we'll dive right into it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Kyle Heitzner. I'm from born and raised in near Brecken, Ontario, on Lake Dalrymple. I played a lot of my minor hockey in Aurelia, Ontario. It's an hour and a half north of Toronto. I yeah, so I basically lived there in Brecken until I was in high school. Moved into Aurelia with my parents. Played minor hockey. Won an OMHA championship when I was 12. Went into to a Catholic high school. I have a good relationship with God, and you know, uh, just kind of enjoying pro hockey right now. So that's where I'm at.
Man, I like that. I like that. So let's just start right from the beginning. So little Kyle, how old were you when you started? Let's start the minor hockey and go right up the ranks. And when we get to each season, if there's something cool, we'll elaborate. But let's just start with little Kyle. Like, Daddy, I want to play hockey. Like, was it love at first sight, or like let's fill the people in?
Yeah, for sure. So I started at 3 years old. My dad would take me to the parent taught skates in Bowmanville. We were living there when I was really young. Like I said, 3 years old, and we'd go out, and sometimes I'd only last 10 minutes, and be complaining my feet are cold or something. Sometimes, Dad said I lasted like an hour or longer. So he would sometimes just pull me around the ice with his hockey stick, and you know what? Definitely helped me with finding the love for the game, and now here I am, 22 years later, and still got it. So uh, yeah, and like when we moved to Aurelia, I met a lot of good friends. My two line mates, basically my whole life, minor hockey, were Kyle Fisher and Cole Scott, two Aurelia boys.
Kyle Fisher, is that the one that married Carrie Underwood?
No, same last name, but different spelling.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir. But those two guys were like, him and them and Tyler Birdie, who played.
Oh, we lost it, Kyle. You must be going in a dead zone. We lost you. Don't worry, beauties and rockstars. He'll be back. I could tell that we're losing him because right here it's in the red.
Any luck?
Okay, you're back. You're back. Repeat what you just said.
Yeah, no. So these three guys, Tyler Birdie, Cole Scott, and Fisher, we were like just always on the ball hockey court, playing hockey all the time together. They'd come out to the frozen lake, and play some shinny with me, and a lot of hours spent on that rink. My mom and dad would help build for me in Lake Dalrymple, and that's definitely where my love for the game grew. Started really taking hockey seriously in like Bantam age, started playing AAA out for North Central Predators, which is in
Oh,
Rama.
North Central Predators. Like, elaborate on that. Like, were you guys sick? Because oh man, okay, forget it. I thought it was the Port Hope Predators. That's what I was thinking of.
No, so we pull from all over Muskoka. Played with a bunch of Muskoka guys, some Aurelia guys, the odd Barrie guy that gets cut comes over to our team. We were pretty average in Bantam, but we had great coaching with Tobias Whalen, previous captain of the Oshawa Generals, captain of Lakehead University. We had Jamie Clark, who won a Junior A title in Aurelia years ago, and Roy Mix, who was on that team as well in Aurelia. So they got us prepared for our minor midget year, where we were all pretty nervous about the draft. And my head coach for that draft year was Andrew Morris, Andrew Hawk, and John Kerr, and I had the most fun that year I've had.
Why do you think you had the most fun? Was it just the boys or good coach, or like what was the most fun? Why?
The vibe was just like on, like none of us were really expected to get drafted high, and there was no expectations in the season except for that we were going to pull together and work hard. That guy I mentioned, Tyler Burney, he went to Bay year to be closer to the city and the scouts. So kudos to him for chasing his dream. I don't hold anything against him for going closer to the city or whatever. But we ended up beating Barrie in the first round of playoffs, and kind of finished their season. They had Morgan Frost on that team, and I remember going head to head with him, and we beat them in double overtime to put them out. We also got a lot of fun going to the OHL Cup, which is top 20 teams in Ontario and the northern states of the U.S. I was fortunate enough to be drafted in the 11th round to the Barrie Colts. Our goalie was a stud that year. He was actually in the OHL draft in 2015. So that's Luke Richardson. We did all right in the OHL Cup, but yeah, we had 5 guys drafted to the O. I think 3 played, including me, and then 1 guy made it as a free agent, Parker Bowman and Ramuski in the queue where Crosby played the coast for Rapid City. So, I mean, I'm really, really grateful that, we had the good coaching and guys moved on. And then to keep going from there, I moved out of home when I was 16, played for the Cambridge Winterhawks in the GOJHL. We had a really good group of guys once again. I mean, we didn't have a great team, but it was a good development year for me. Unfortunately, I had to leave my billets. They weren't really used to having a hockey player around, eating all their food and going out sometimes with the boys. So I ended up moving in with my teammate, Liam Hurley. He took me under his wing, the Hurley family, and I might have quit hockey that year if I didn't have them. So I had an injury. I wasn't happy at my billets. I was homesick, and they really turned things around for me that year. So
doesn't billets make the difference? Like I was fortunate I never had billets when I played 13 games for the Manitoulin Islanders. I made my own meals and stuff like that. But like when I was with the Junior Wells, man, there was some guys like pregame meal would be a pizza pocket, but then another guy's pregame meal would be chicken parm and everything. Like the billets are break it or break it.
100%. And for all those junior hockey players out there, don't be afraid to talk to your general manager or your head coach if you're not happy with your billet, because that's what I had to do. And sometimes, it's just not a good fit. And kind of a funny story, my billet mom was so mad that I was leaving and kind of left the home. She didn't even say bye to me when I moved out. She just sat in her room. So that's just the way things went there. But like I said, Hurley's great people. They live out east now, Eastern Canada. I ended up making the team in Barrie when I was 17, but it wasn't an easy route. They weren't willing to sign me out of camp. I had to play preseason, which ruined my eligibility for school.
Now, did you think about that or did you not know?
No, I stayed up when told me after the blue and white game that I wasn't going to be signing unless I kept trying out in preseason. I was up till 4 a.m. thinking about what's going to be best for me in my future. And then I had to catch the bus. If I wanted to play in the first preseason game, I had to catch the bus that day at 9 a.m. So my first preseason game in the OHL, I was off like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And
How did you do?
I played it all right. I got the nerves out in that first one, and then I ended up getting 5 goals in 6 games in that preseason, and they signed me. So, I mean, I took a chance, and it worked out.
Now, Kyle, explain to us the nerves you were your first OHL game. Like, walk us through what it was like playing the first game in the O, because it's a big fucking deal playing in the OHL, man.
Yeah, it was a dream come true, especially being close to home, playing in Barrie, where guys like Mark Scheifele played, and Andrew Mangiapane, Kevin LeBlanc, Aaron Ekblad. There's so many, as you know, and got to learn a lot from Dale Howardchuk. Definitely my first game, a lot of nerves. Tried to just play through them. I scored my first OHL goal in my second game in the Ottawa barn, and the rest is kind of history. I ended up playing 115 games there, which was a good amount, but didn't have a ton of points. I think I only had 20 in 2 years. Um, I kind of was in a checking role, and would drop the gloves here and there when I played there. I had a lot of good talent in front of me, like guys like Andrei Svechnikov, Alexei Lipanov, Aaron Luchuk, 50 goal scorer in the O.
Yeah, I
There was
know
a
who that
ton
guy
of good
is.
players, especially my second year on that team. So yeah,
That's unreal. So then after the O, what happened after the O?
well, I got traded to Mississauga in my third year, and it wasn't a good fit for me. So I took an offer to play in my hometown, which was like 3 leagues down from what I was what I've been playing in Junior C. You probably know the Junior C loop with all the Muskoka teams in the area.
Oh shit, bro!
But
Like you must have just tore it up.
I had a good run. I mean, my first year, I had a broken tibia though. I blocked a shot, broke my tibia. I ended up finishing the game, and we won in overtime. But after that, I missed a few months in a cast. And kind of a funny story with that season. I ended up fighting in the stands because a guy made a rude gesture to my mom, and we went toe to toe in the stands. I got suspended for the whole season. Um,
When did you get suspended?
it was a learning experience for sure.
When did you
It
get
was
suspended?
like it was basically just it was basically to do with like off ice conduct in the sense that I was on crutches at the time, and I fought this guy. We're actually friends now. We played senior hockey together. But he came off the ice and we went toe to toe. Like I was I think he broke my nose actually and that night, and we are lucky both not to get charged for the fight because it wasn't on the ice. But the following year, when I played as a 20-year-old, I think I had like 29 goals in 32 games and around 72 points.
Holy shit! Now, did Kyle, when you scored, did you make sure the whole arena knew? Like, did you really, really pump it up?
No, I'm not a big Selly guy, only unless it's a big goal. My line mates, Jack Beck and Mason Beck from Barrie, were unreal to play with in that season. Like we would just set each other up, and we ended up losing to Penetang in Game 7, I believe, in the first round. Wasn't the result we wanted, but my junior career kind of ended there. I played a couple games in the Outlaw League as a 21-year-old because COVID hit, and it was the only league running.
Was it any good?
Yeah, it was decent hockey. There's a lot of guys because of COVID playing in that league. So I mean, the teams were looking a little different than like they would pre-COVID. But there is some good players that come out of that league. A lot of people kind of chirp it and stuff like that. But I mean, I've seen guys that right in Muskoka there for the Shield. There was a kid that came from Europe, and he's playing Division 1 in Italy right now. Like, it's
Pretty
if you
sick.
put up numbers, I mean, guys are going. So, yeah. So, long story short, my pro career started in Sweden during COVID. I played 7 games. I did pretty well over there in the 7 games, but we all got sent home. Um, I got married and engaged around. I got engaged at 22 and married at 23. So
Okay,
I didn't know how long I
slow
was
down.
going to be
Let's
able
slow
to
down. Let's
play
slow down.
for.
How did you? Because I happen to know she would get all her girlfriends and come to resort nights at the Key to Bala. How did you meet your girlfriend? Your wife,
I met her when I was that year I was playing for Aurelia.
right?
My teammate went to college with her in police foundations, and he set us up on a blind date.
I would always use Holly and her friends for good Instagram photos for likes.
Probably weren't too bad either.
Pardon me?
I said it doesn't hurt that Holly's a rocket, and her friends probably weren't too bad either.
No, yeah, you definitely are. Definitely are. Yeah, so that's fucking mint, bro. Congratulations on locking down a fucking trophy wife.
Hey, thanks, man.
I'd be
I
scared, I'd be scared to knock her up because then you have a hot hockey mom walking around. The men are gonna be sniffing around. Sorry, Holly. With
I've
all due
really
respect, it's a
I've really
compliment. So take
struggled. Yeah, for sure. I really struggled with my mental health over the years too. I mentioned yet before to you, I was diagnosed with bipolar in 2020, and it's just one of those things where when you deal with mental health, you need support, you need to talk. So my parents, my mom and dad, who I'm really close with, and her have been supportive of, you know, the ups and downs. And then me playing pro, it's a little stressful at times. So it's nice to have that support, is what I'm getting at. I've kind of bounced around a bit the last few years, but this year, starting the season right from camp in Watertown, I started kind of finding my groove. I think I had 13 goals in 14 games when I left Watertown to come up to the SP, and I'm hoping to continue the scoring pace up here too. So
I gotta ask Kyle. I have two questions because I got to jump on another interview with Jay Rosehill right now because I
yeah,
have the other part of the interview, so it's okay. Kyle,
yeah,
you're in the SPHL, okay?
yeah.
There's going to be a time that shit's going to go down. I need you, and very serious, and the only time I'm ever going to be serious. Let coach know Ralsauce just wants to dress and have one shift. He puts me on. I will leave my gloves on the bench, and I will go the toughest guy that's ever skated in the league just to say I had fun scrapping with pro hockey. I need it on the hockey DB. Can you please make this happen for me?
Sounds good. I heard you got a connection on Leafs tickets, so maybe we can work out a little deal.
I'll give you Leafs tickets for sure. All right, big guy. Everything else is good. I got to get on the other call. This is fucking meant. It will be out tonight. And I need you right now to write me the description. Go and look at my last podcast episode, what DJ wrote, and write a description and send it ASAP.
I just want to say one thing too.
For sure.
I want to say thank you to all the police, firemen, military. My dad's a policeman, and I know all the stuff that they go through day to day. I want to say to people struggling with their mental health as well, you're never alone. You can always reach out to someone. And
always reach out to me, guys. I DM everybody back. And the thing I strongly recommend, microdosing mushrooms. They help the mind big time.
Yeah, and I'm always an open ear too. I mean, I've been dealing with, everyone's got their battle. I've been dealing with bipolar for 5 years. I'd love to chat with, I know I've chatted with Curtis Gabriel a bit, and guys like that are going through it. It's been helpful. So
we'll get you, Kyle. We'll get you on like once a month. Just keep having mint stories, and we'll get you on once a month. And make sure you give Ian White a call. Say Ralph.
I will, man. Ian White, beauty. He's still a hell of a player, and I'd love to get him on with you.
Sounds good. We'll do it. Me, you, and him. Okay, big guy. I gotta go.
Okay, peace.
Take care.